Yes, actually. So I've seen Society, but only recently. I never saw it as a kid or anything. And
Okay.
that's a fucking weird movie.
Lo-Fi Horror Guys been recorded in front of a live studio audience. 3, 2, 1. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Lo-Fi Horror Guy, and welcome to another episode of the Lo-Fi Horror Guys, growing on you live. Today, my dude Cody from StudioHouse Designs. You know what I'm saying? Cody,
What's
what is
going on,
up,
brother?
my man?
How's it going, Eric?
It is going absolutely great, man. How are you,
Awesome.
buddy?
Excellent. Cannot complain at all.
Sick. Thank you
Hell yeah.
so much for being on. I really appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love
Hell
doing
yeah.
this kind of stuff.
Hell yeah. So starting off, let me just ask, if we were making a horror movie, right? And
God.
I said, look, Cody, I need you to come up with the villain. We're gonna, are we gonna go like a vampires? Are we going werewolves? Like your ideal horror movie, what would you want the villain or monster to be?
Wow. So, I'm into brute force slashers. So I'm talking like
Yes.
Jason is tight. So
Fuck
I'm
yeah.
looking for something with like just a big old fucking weapon that's just beating on people. I want gore. I want splashes of blood. Definitely.
Hell yeah. All right. That's awesome. That explains, some of the designs for sure. Like today I'm supporting the
Oh
old
yeah.
screen.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Give me a big old knife.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Sick. So now my wife and I do a little bit of traveling, and if we were coming through Philly, what other than like a Philly cheesesteak, what's like a local food staple? Where would you point us?
Oh man. Well, you gotta hit. We hit this spot called Tattooed Moms, which is
Oh, yeah.
basically just a punk bar.
Yeah,
They've got awesome food that's awesome vegan selection too, which is really cool. Everybody in Philly, I swear, is vegan except for me.
Yeah.
We also dig this place called Bottle Bar East up in like Fishtown. But
Yeah.
if you come to Philly and you don't get a cheesesteak, did you really come to Philly?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I
That's
mean?
that's true.
And
That's true.
no Pats and Geno's bullshit either. You got to go to Dalsandro's and Manioc.
Okay. All right. See,
That's the
that's
spot.
what we're digging into. The
Oh, yeah,
local
oh, yeah.
spots that you're into. Okay. All right. And that's
For
the
sure.
thing too, like obviously like Philly cheesesteaks are notorious, but there's also
Oh, yeah.
other spots that people are like, oh man, you got to check
Oh
this
yeah,
out
yeah,
though.
yeah. Oh, Dalsandro's is the spot, man.
Sick. All right.
That's the
Awesome.
best
I love it.
cheesesteak in Philly. Hell yeah.
Ooh. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to be making it there in a couple of years. We were, kind
Awesome.
of planning some stuff going East Coast this summer, and then everything
Oh,
got
cool.
ruined. So,
yeah, dude.
just with all the times and everything, with you just push through and make it happen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're trying to travel hard come like September, October. We just bought the
Okay.
van. We're talking about turning that into a camper and hitting the road in that, man.
Oh man, that'd
That'd
be
be
so
sick.
sick.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah,
Doing
yeah.
some like pop-up shops at like a show or something.
Yeah, that'd be sick. If we could find some spots, we definitely do like pop-ups and stuff. We just want to thrift and find tapes, honestly.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's all
we
we
can do
care
some of
about.
that. Sweet.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, hell yeah, okay. So your horror origin, where did it all start for you? What were some of
Oh.
your first watches? What sparked your interest?
So my first horror movie ever was Hellraiser, and that's honestly like that's one of my favorite horror movies of all time now. Still, I still have my original copy of Hellraiser on VHS. I stole it from my mom, who definitely didn't know that I was taking it. I snuck it up into my bedroom. I watched it, and I just shit my pants. I was like 8 years old, and how do you explain Hellraiser to an 8-year-old? Like that doesn't
Oh
even
my
make sense to me.
God.
So it blew my mind. I remember seeing Frank and just being like skinless Frank, and me being like, what the fuck am I watching? And just being so dumbfounded by it and just being absolutely scared. The lights coming through the wood slats in the walls and stuff. This shit freaked me out. After that, I kind of just got stuck on it. I remember I was never like I feel like Instagram really brings together a community of horror fanatics like us. And I was never aware of that. I just bought DVDs and kept to myself and just like watched shit, like, and that's it. I never really realized that there was like collectibles to it and everything, and art behind it. Really, I just remember going to the video store all the time and renting 2 movies for $3, and I would always like go right for the horror section, right for the art. I remember the first one that I ever grabbed strictly because of the art was Dead Alive, and I was because I'm blown away by that cover. Same with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Grabbed that one strictly because of the cover, knowing nothing about what I was getting myself into. And I still remember the "I kick ass for the Lord" line. Like, that's stuck in my head. And like, I remember renting it as a kid. I remember that scene so vividly. And then like 10 years later, I was like, yo, what was that movie? Like, why was there like a priest killing zombies like as a ninja or like doing karate? And I was like, what movie was that? And then I found Dead Alive again. And I unearthed it again, I guess, and rewatched it and was like, this is insane. This
mind-blowing.
Yeah. There's no way to describe those types of movies, especially to kids, you know.
Right.
But that's the best part.
So, what, you know, as far as describing like your local video stores, what were your shops that you went to? What was your frequent shop?
So I had 3. I grew up just in the suburbs of Philadelphia, in a little town called Pennsburg. There's 3 little towns: Pennsburg, Red Hill, East Greenville, all lumped together. And there are 3 video stores. I don't remember the name of the one. I'll never remember the name of it. The other one was a mom and pop called Mom and Pop's Video. And then there was West Coast Video. West Coast, I could never rent horror there. The counter people checked the cards and stuff. But Mom and Pops, they never cared. So I could get away with anything. And I even remember renting my first like N64 games there and everything.
Hell yeah. Okay.
And then there was one right at the top of the town. It was the closest one to me. It was right next to a pizza shop and a hobby place. And that building's no longer there. But I remember going there with my dad a lot, and we used to rent movies there. And I used to always sneak back into the horror section. He always used to let me watch horror. It was really cool.
Hell yeah. Okay. Now, as far as like, what were the horror sections like? You know, was it like some deep dungeon in the back of the shop?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Well, West Coast always would put it in the back and like make it look kind of nonchalant. You never knew. You'd walk from drama into horror and never know it. But I definitely remember Mom and Pop's in the back. We're talking like gross, dusty shelves, like super gross. And they used to smoke in there. So like all of the clamshell, like the pop snap cases were always like, they were clear, but they were so gross and yellowed. All the artwork just white, like window washed, and it's all just blue and yellow. I mean, but that's the aesthetic that I love.
I mean, that's the fun of it.
Yeah, and like, it was always just gross. It was always right next to the porn section too. You just have the curtains that came halfway down. You can't see into it. Oh my gosh.
That's so fun. I was just talking to somebody the other day too, and they brought that up. You know, it was always like, it was so funny because you loved horror and you always had that section, but then there was always that curtain right next to it. You know, a lot of times it's like you're trying to peek in, like, oh yeah, you know, your parents are like, why are you looking at that movie for so long? Look, it looks great. I don't know what to tell you.
Don't look at the back cover. There's a boob on it. Absolutely.
So, with your horror interests, what are 3 scenes that have just forever been ingrained in your brain?
Oh man, absolutely the Frank scene when he's opening the box for the first time and the lights come through the slats in Hellraiser. That's like, oh man.
Nightmare fuel.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Evil Dead 2, the laughing scene. And when he's maniacally laughing and just turns and looks at the camera and says, "Who's laughing now?" Like that's like the everything I live for. That's one of my favorite scenes. Wow. And what's the third that comes to mind? Probably. Wow, I'm really blanking on this one. I don't even know. I do love Videodrome.
Videodrome, sure.
The face and the lips and the TV, you know what I'm talking about, and
Hell
pressing
yeah.
it in and bending the just like what we perceive as reality.
Yeah.
That's why I love Cronenberg. I think that
Yeah.
he really does a great job of that. But I'd still like going into Videodrome is just a beautiful movie in itself.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the lips on the TV, man. I remember that as a kid too. That was
Hell
one
yeah.
early find for me was Videodrome.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever watch what is the Society?
Yes, actually, so I've seen Society, but only recently. I never saw it as a kid or anything, and
Okay.
that's a fucking weird movie. Yeah.
That's kind of like, it kind of gives me the whole like Videodrome, like Naked Lunch type of feel where you
Oh
watch it and
yeah.
you're like,
Oh
you're getting
yeah.
halfway through, you're like, what the fuck am I watching?
Well, yeah, and it's like, I mean, similar to Tetsuo. Tetsuo has
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
a lot, or I should say, not a lot, but a very large lack of plot. And I mean, halfway through, not even halfway, 10 minutes into Tetsuo, I'm like, what is happening? I don't know what I'm even watching other than this dude's jamming a rod into his leg, and I'm
Right.
feeling that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, society's just like that. You get halfway into it, and you're like, how is this gonna? How are we gonna conclude this?
Yeah,
Because
right.
I
Right.
don't understand like where you're going with this. But I mean,
Yeah.
that society's ending blew my fucking mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I kind of knew what was coming because obviously on Instagram, you get to
See
see
a
every
lot of it.
movie, yeah,
Yeah.
before you get to see the movies, and then I mean, once you do, and everything comes together, when they're all just congealing. Oh God, that's so gross. That's amazing. How do you do?
How do you
That's
pull that
like
off?
that's what I'm saying. Like special effects like that, man.
Yeah.
You don't find it any other place, and
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Agree. With a lot of horror fans, a lot of people kind of fall into the whole thing where, it's only 80s and 90s stuff that's good. Meanwhile,
Sure.
there's a lot of really good stuff that comes out recent. Do you have any titles that come to mind, that are newer horror movies that have stuck out to you?
Yeah, we just watched The Rental, and I thought that was actually really, really cool.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that had Lip Gallagher from Shameless in it, and that's kind of what sold me to go into it because I love Shameless.
Dave Franco directed that, didn't he?
Dave Franco directed that,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
is kind of weird in itself.
Weird.
But but that I thought was really cool. Obviously, anything Jordan Peele does. I'm obsessed with Jordan Peele movies right now. Really, anything A24 is putting out. I loved Midsummer so much. Hereditary was fucking cool. Yeah, I'm on a Jordan Peele train right now, so I'm just kind of trying to follow everything he does. I'm really excited for Candyman.
Hell yeah.
That looks so cool so far. Jordan Peele puts his finger on it, and I'm really happy about it, basically. And I mean, while we're sitting here talking about it, like this kind of stuff, it inspires my work so much, and like I feel like he's got the right voice for me to work for design wise, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I feel like everything that I would design for his kind of stuff, it just flows so naturally, and it's just really cool.
I was going to hit on that, as far as like design wise, with some movies like Ari Aster and like Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele, yeah.
That's the thing too, is like so many, some of these movies, not only are they, deeply, kind of, you look into them and you watch them and every time you pick up something, but visually there's so much to grasp, as far as, from design, from a design angle, there's tons to take from.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever movies are like way more visual, it makes it so much easier to design for. Like Get Out was so easy. So easy, and like I feel like that just came to me in a dream, and it laid itself out in Photoshop for me. It just worked so beautifully. Us was a little bit of a challenge. I kind of pushed myself on Us to do something that I wasn't expecting. And I mean, that's kind of what I force on to all of my work is I want to see designs that are not the same thing.
Sure.
I see a lot of horror art right now is all very similar. I'm not ragging on that. That's other people's style. That's sick in its own. I don't want my work to look like that. So that's why I'm trying to push like something that's a little bit different. Trying to take take titles and interpret them in a completely different way. And I think that way is as if I were a graphic designer in the 70s, working with like limited palettes, working with old typefaces and stuff, not fonts but typefaces.
Typeface, okay.
Yeah, because they were actually designed back then, rather than, I mean, they're designed now, but it's not just let me type it out in Comic Sans and throw it on a T-shirt. It's a little bit more than that, and I think that studying the origins and the roots of design in the 70s and stuff, and why people were designing the way that they were for these movies, specifically like Rosemary's Baby, like that poster was stunning. I mean, if you look at all of my stuff, when you think about it, this could be just a poster.
Hell yeah.
For the movie. And that's kind of what I like to do is, I mean, but I came into all of this through movie posters, and doing screen printed movie posters and stuff. So it just kind of translates onto T-shirts. People can wear a T-shirt every day. They only have limited amount of wall space.
Okay. Now you're saying you used to print movie posters?
Oh yeah, definitely. All hand print, all like hand pulled silkscreen print movie posters that I would design and stuff.
Oh shit! All right.
That's I went to art school for all of that. So primarily, like, I love the art. I'm all about the art. I think the art is so sick. And I mean, I grew up looking at CCS catalogs, looking at VHS covers in my local video stores.
Fuck yeah.
I just pounding my brain with like that oversaturation of stimulation of just pure like art in what we see as art today, which is very different than painting on a wall in a museum. We see art on VHS covers, which is really sick,
and that's certainly a thing too. I feel like that's hit a lot more now, more than I've ever seen, is people, commenting or looking into the artists, or, making mention like, oh man, this guy just did this, and notoriously, or being known notoriously for like their style is something really cool that you see recently.
Absolutely. It's a huge blow up right now.
Have you had any designs where, you got everything done, you got it printed on a shirt and you're like, that's not how I wanted it to turn out? Or it just didn't look, aesthetically as pleasing as you wanted it to?
Yes. I mean, with every success, there's like 10 failures that like you guys don't see. So I have I have backstock of like concept product that never even like got out there and stuff, because there's just that. I think honestly, a lot of the like the spider black tie dyes, they don't show color the way that I want them to. So like when we just did like the Get Out tie dyes, they came out awesome, but the purple blended with some of the like lighter grays in the spider tie dye. But the issue with that is when they send them to us, some are lighter, some are darker, and like they're so individual because they're all hand tie dyed by a company down in Florida. So, everyone looks the same, but, it's hard to judge what we're going to get before it happens to compare the inks to. So it's little things like that we're working around now. We're finding things. There are definitely shirts that didn't sell well that I thought would. But I mean, I feel like that happens more often than not. Like I did that Friday the 13th long sleeve, and I wanted to do something like try to push some art that didn't have a mask in it, because in Friday the 13th there is no mask. Really push what actually is happening, rather than every single Friday the 13th shirt that you see that's just a big mask and a knife and Friday the 13th. So I tried pushing something a little bit different, maybe like a different take on it. And it wasn't as well received as most other designs. So what I learned there is that people like to see the hockey mask. That's what they want on a shirt. So yeah, there are failures with successes, definitely, always.
Sure.
But yeah, we see them a lot. It's fun.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to
You
take
know,
them with a grain of salt.
right, right. So now, as far as like, I ordinarily don't, dig too much into, upbringing or, people's personal lives or anything. But,
Sure.
with your company, you have a very, strong overcoming, sense of accomplishment as far as, things that you've gone through and things that you've pushed through personally in your earlier
Sure.
days. And, I just kind of wanted to touch on that because I'm all about, pushing optimism and,
Yeah, man.
positivity and,
Yes.
trying to let people know that, even somebody that seems like they're in a good spot, they may have been in a harder place and just,
Right.
to push on through.
Yeah,
What can
man.
you tell us about some of that?
So I was raised in kind of a really shitty situation. I was raised in a very broken home. My dad died when I was 12 years old. So I didn't have a fatherly figure growing up to kind of be there for me. That was really, really tough to point me in uh, the right directions, I guess. My mom, she had a lot of trauma that she was dealing with on her own, and she was using the bottle to escape a lot of that. Um, so I didn't really have parents around. I didn't really know right from wrong growing up. Some nights were a struggle to eat, it's what comes from alcoholism and family, really. Um,
Sure.
and my parents got divorced at a young age. I got tossed around the family a lot. It was very tough for me to find solace in anything. I never felt support in doing anything. Um, Even up until I went to college late in life. I actually went to college when I was like 23, 24. I didn't
Okay.
graduate until I was 28. So I mean, even if you didn't get to college when you're 18, that doesn't mean you can't go to college and you can't pursue whatever kind of goals that you want. Life is long. Uh, Life is a paradox because it's so long, but yet it's so short.
Sure.
And when you're 18, 19, even up into your 30s, I'm 32 now. I graduated when I was 28, but I I kind of went against everything. I mean, you grew up in hardcore too. Hardcore kind of teaches you that it's okay to be against the grain.
Mm-hmm.
Same with punk music, and it's okay to be against the grain.
Yeah.
Uh, it's okay to not be the ideal child that your parents wanted, because that's it's okay to not even be wanted by your own parents. There's a
Sure.
thought.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean,
Fuck. It's deep.
yeah, at the end of the day, though, you're still your own person. Your life is still your own life. And whatever
Yeah.
you love to do, you get to fucking do, because just do it. You have literally nothing else to live for except for following your own dreams. And I had everybody in my life. I always loved art, and I never really knew what art could give to me. My family always told me, like, yo, I don't even understand like why you want to pursue art, because like art's not going to pay you anything. And I'm like, I don't fucking care about money. I care about my happiness. I just want to do cool shit with my life, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
Uh, and I didn't feel a lot of support growing up in my life. And nobody ever told me you should go to college for something you love. Everybody told me, well, the one person that told me you should go to college told me that I should go for business. I tried going for business. That wasn't me. I almost failed out. It was a very bad time in my life. I attempted suicide a few times to try to find that out. And that's not an out. That's never a fucking out.
Wow.
Um, and then I found an art teacher who I went to school. Had to take painting as an elective, and I was like, yo, I'll crush a painting class. I love this shit. So I took it, and it was like every day after my macroeconomics class. So like I would come in after like crunching numbers all day, getting ready to paint, and like having to like loosen up after that, and like start painting. My teacher, we would always talk and stuff. She loved The Walking Dead, and I loved The Walking Dead. So like we found a good connection where like we could talk and stuff. And then she grabbed my arm the one day, and she just was like, "Listen, your paintings are the best in the class, and I'm not gonna have to twist your arm to make you go full time with your art, because that's what you need to do." So I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, you're right." So I did. And I was just like, I got to pursue what I'm actually passionate about in life rather than what's going to make me money, what's going to make my parents happy, what's going to make my significant other happy, anybody, because I'm the only one living my life right now, and I got to chase my own fucking dreams. So
Right.
that's what I did. I just started doing shit that I loved, and I just like reached inside and said, hey, do I truly love what I'm doing? Like, is that what I want to be doing? If the answer is yes, I chase it. If the answer is no, change behavior and just start doing shit that I love and caring about myself. That self-care, that self-love is so important in life. And like just trusting yourself and your decision making. And honestly, without all of that, I wouldn't have Studio House. I wouldn't have everything that I've been doing. It takes a lot to be able to check your own ego and be like, I'm not always right. And that was a big step for me with Studio House, even when I was making designs and I was like, this is going to sell. And then it doesn't. And then I'm like, why is everybody else wrong? Like this product is awesome. And then I realized that's not what it's about. Like I have to hear what you guys say. I'm selling to you guys. My art is a reflection of what you guys love about my stuff. And I think that's the coolest thing. All of my art is just literally a collaboration between me and you. And that's the coolest shit in the world.
Wow. I mean, I know some of your backstory, and we've talked, and we've messaged back and forth, and I wanted to hit on that, but I didn't realize, the depth with everything, and that's probably pretty tough to talk about. And I appreciate you spilling that out, because that's a lot of shit that's hard to talk about, I'm sure. Yeah. And especially in like a setting like this. So
well, hey, you know what? If anything, I want what happened to me to be able to motivate other people to be able to do what I'm doing.
Yes, sir.
My best friend Kyle, for instance, he went through a tough spot too. And he linked up with me. I said, listen, I'll teach you how to print. We opened a print shop together, and he's now flourishing. He's looking to move into a 4,000 square foot warehouse with 2 auto presses now. And it's just because he learned how to believe in himself. And if I could watch all my friends like blossom and flourish like that, that's what I want. And if telling my story is how I get that, I'll do it every day.
That's fucking awesome, man. Let's cut into a little bit with the company. You guys started in 2012. And today have become, have just blossomed into one of the biggest horror merch companies that are doing it right now. And certainly, my favorite. I love you guys. So you and Aaron have done so much, and are pulling such a great, product, for everybody to enjoy. Take me back to where it all began and some of the first designs that you came up with.
Absolutely. Definitely. It was years and years and years ago. My buddy Kevin, actually, he hit me up and was like, yo, dude, do you want to like help me screen print some posters? And I was like, yeah, sure. That sounds great. I mean, I already am designing. At the time, I was doing some designs for Cold Cuts merch, which is all hardcore merch and stuff like that. I was doing some designs for them, and John Bose, that's my dude.
Hell yeah.
He's a big inspiration to watch him. We were working in above a deli, in like a little spare room above a deli, working on a really small press with like a full conveyor dryer. You're talking a room that's 700 square feet, maybe 130, 150 degrees. And I'm sitting on my laptop we would listen to Justin Bieber all the time, and I would design. And that's how I got my start, was like just getting like t-shirt designs. I got to do some really cool stuff for like Hate Breed, Hate Wear, Title Fight, Tiger's Jaw, Transit, stuff like that. I got massive opportunities through John, which was really cool. Then through Kevin, we started screen printing posters. I did a few early things in galleries through Hero Complex Gallery. We did Big Hero 6 poster, which is dope.
Oh,
That's
hell
like, yeah,
yeah.
that's like
Okay.
one of my favorite like movies. That's like not horror, aside of
Right.
Mac and Me, I guess. Um, which that's a whole nother story, Mac and Me.
Oh yeah, dude.
Um,
That's a beautiful movie.
yeah, right. So then I was drawing posters, printing posters and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Kevin ended up leaving the company. Aaron came in. Aaron's been right next to me, helping me 100%. She's who ships every order. And she's the biggest help to me ever. I would not be anywhere without her. This company would be nowhere without Aaron. Um, uh, and then, I did the stack T-shirt. I had nothing. I was working at a sign shop, and we were doing like enamel pins and stuff like that.
Sure.
I did like a Descendants Starbucks enamel pin. I did like Rick and Morty. I did Rick as Pinhead, and stupid little things like that, you know. It
Oh
was
yeah.
cool on Instagram to do pins and stuff, and I loved it. I
Right.
loved doing that. The collectability of it. I still have a huge pin board over here that with like hundreds of pins. And then the one day I was hanging out with my buddy John, and I was just like, "Yo, we should do like a stack of VHS tapes, just like printed on a T-shirt. Like I could half tone it out. Could you shoot me a photo of some of your tapes, and like we'll put them up?" And at the time, my collection was like garbage. He had awesome tapes. He had Blood Rage, like. And I was
Oh
like, yo,
shit.
that's got to
Okay.
be right on top. I love that movie. So um, he got me a nice photo of the tapes and everything. I half toned it down. And then I was like, shit, I don't know how we're going to get these printed. I, I don't know how we're going to do this. So what I did was I used to work at a sign shop, and I would screen print T-shirts there. So I knew how to do it. I knew all the pieces. So what I did was at my job, I dumpster dove for spare pieces of wood, and I literally built a little like screen printing press for one station. And
Oh
like
shit.
I had the screen like wired to the ceiling in the basement. Like I was curing shirts with a fucking blow dryer. Like, dude, it was wild. My first batch
Damn.
I did 10 shirts. And then after that, I posted them up and was like, "Yo, these'll be for sale, maybe." And I ended up
Oh
getting
my
like a lot
god.
of people that were like, "Yo, I gotta have one of these, but can you do it white ink on black?" And I was like, "Oh my god, here's a whole new challenge now." I was like, "I can do black ink on white right now. Like, don't throw me too many wrenches here."
Right,
And then
right.
I ended up trying some white ink on black because I couldn't double hit or anything like that. So I was sitting there flashing it with a blow dryer, and then I'd hit it again, and then I'd pull it off and blow dry it real good and make sure the inks would cure and everything. It was a shit show is what it is. What it was. I don't know. I destroyed the house that we used to live in. Like, it was bad. But it was fun. It was a lot
Oh
of
my
fun.
god.
And then it just kept going bigger and bigger. I finally bought a press. I finally bought a flash. Once we did Carpenter stack, or actually, I'm sorry, Friday the 13th stack
13th. Yeah.
was the first stack that like I was like, holy shit. I think we sold like 100, maybe 200 shirts of that, and was just like, oh my god, why are people buying this? Why do people like my shit? I don't get it. And then it just kept going. The Carpenter stack was the next one that like really blew up. I remember posting a photo of 5 boxes next to my little tiny conveyor dryer at the time. And I was like, well, I hope that run took me it was 8 hour days. So I would print for 8 hours straight in 130-degree heat in
Holy
our
shit.
basement. And I probably did that for 3 or 4 days for the first run of Carpenter. Yeah,
Oh
man.
my god.
Yeah,
Damn.
it was rough, man. I would just blast music so loud. I'd throw tapes on this little combo guy right here. I'd just
Ah,
sit
nice.
there
I like
and
that.
yeah, I just watch tapes all day. I'd blast music and just rip screens, man. And
So sick.
it was a lot of hard work, a lot of long days. But I mean,
Pays
when
off,
you're
man.
when you're giving that time to yourself and not to your fucking boss, like it makes it so much more worth it. and it
Yes,
makes it
sir.
so much more fun because you're not slicing deli meat. Like you're doing
Right.
something fun, you know? You're making
Right.
t-shirts and selling them
Right.
on the internet to
Right.
people who think your art's cool. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's something different.
Yeah, and I mean
That's fun.
you're producing something, you know, you're
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
making something with your hands, and it's, you know, flourishing out to people, and
Yeah.
it's like a baby. It's a,
Yeah.
you
Oh
know,
my gosh. Yeah.
it's a gift to everyone.
Yeah. Absolutely it is. But I'll tell you
What
what, the level of fear that comes with that, oh, that's rough, man.
Right.
Enough to stop a man, I'll tell you that much.
What have been some of your favorites that you've come up with? You know, maybe do like two or three.
Oh, easy. Easy. Here, I got this one right here.
Ooh, I already know what it is.
Yep.
Dude,
This
that
is
shirt is so fucking
easily the
sweet.
best thing that I've done in a very long time. Us doing the hand bleached tie dye was like so much fun to do. Aaron and I got to sit there and soak each shirt, bleach each shirt, wash each shirt out, and then
So
run
sick.
them. It was so cool. Getting hands on products and like actually getting to like have more of a hand. I mean, I used to screen print them. I don't anymore. Now Kyle does. He's the master screen printer behind it all.
Okay.
Now we just get the boxes of shirts and we fold them and ship them out. And
Okay.
I don't get a lot of hands on to them anymore, but doing the hand tie dyes is sick. I really like getting my hands back on that. Um,
Sweet.
other other designs that I really like doing or that I loved was I love the Videodrome shirt, not this one. I have a
Right.
flag hanging right above me.
Right.
But yeah, the Videodrome shirt I absolutely love. That was one of my favorites, and even that was like one of the first tie dyes that we did, where I was like, let's throw this on Spider Black tie dye, and that was like one of my favorite shirts. The Us shirt with the metallic gold, I loved the metallic gold ink
Dude,
on that. That was
so sick.
chef's kiss on that one. Thanks, Kyle. Chef's kiss. Yeah, that it just set it off. You know what I mean? It's those designs where it's like when it looks cool when you see it online, but then like when you get the product in hand and you're just like, holy shit, this thing, like it hurts to look at it. This thing is so cool. That's what makes a design. It just jumps off the shirt at you. It's so cool.
Hell yeah. The most
Yeah.
recent one I got was the Us with that
Yep.
sparkle gold that was on
Yeah.
the black tie dye, and I'm just like,
Yeah, man.
oh fuck, that looks
It's
so
so
cool.
perfect. Yeah.
And it's
And
funny too with some of the designs as well. You know, like you see them online. You know, like you're saying,
yep.
and then you get them in person. You're just like, holy shit,
It's
that
like
is
next
so
level.
vibrant. Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. And I mean that's screen printing for you. That's worrying about quality. That's making sure that it's the correct inks. It's the correct garment. It's everything has to come together. There's care taken within every single step. I'll tell you what, for the amount of times that I've called Kyle and I'm like, yo, bro, this shirt, I got like two of them that are like a little crooked. I hate to be that guy, but like, you know, can we, I'm sure he hates me for the amount of times that I got to call him and I'm just like, cause I worry about that kind of stuff so much for
Yeah.
you guys, because like, I want you guys to get your money's worth. That's the most important shit in the world, is just making sure that, there you go. The
Midsummer poster.
Yeah. Killer.
Yeah.
That's my little sister, by the way. What's up, Kenzie?
Oh.
But you can't, it's so hard to show what white, like, I don't even know what that would be, like oil slick foil poster looks like. How do you show that? I have no idea. That's the real hard part of it. You know, mocking up a tie-dye for the tie-dye to look correct so that when you guys get it, you're like, this does look like what I got on the internet, to make sure that, like, you know, everything, and you guys feel that your money is well spent.
Hell yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know, you guys take care of us. We have to take care of you. You're just as important to us as the product, you know?
Always been a thing I can say, you know, as a fan, and, you know, multiple time purchaser myself of your guys' stuff, is it's always been, you know, the fit of the shirts,
Yep.
you know, the designs that are on them. You're not having stuff that kind of looks wonky, you know, even with
Right.
like this shirt, for instance, you know, it has the design down the sleeve. It's not like off kilter, or it doesn't, you know,
Right.
fit kind of odd.
Right.
I mean, I can sit here and just compliment over and over, but there's reasons why I've bought, you know, as much of your guys' stuff as I have.
We appreciate it, man.
And promote your guys' stuff as much as I can as well, because I've had a lot of friends
yeah.
too that have asked about where I got certain shirts. I'm like, oh, dude, Go
Dude,
here. Like they'll
that's
they'll take
literally
care of you.
that's the biggest compliment that I get ever, and it's like the most frequent compliment I get too is everybody always says, "Yo, everybody's always asking me, where do you get that shirt? That's insane." And I'm just like, that warms my heart because I'm like, yo, somebody else like cares enough to talk to a stranger. I fucking hate talking to strangers, but like if a shirt can like entice you enough to actually go up to a stranger and talk to somebody and be like, yo, where'd you get that shirt? One, that's probably a new friend because you just found somebody that also loves that movie. And two, like, that's a cool shirt. And like, you feel a part of it. You know what I mean? Like people complimenting you for your style, which is super cool too.
Yeah, I can even say as far as like the last few times, generally when I go to shows, I go to a lot of hardcore shows and punk shows and different things. And, a lot of times I kind of hang with the friends that I'm there or whatever. The last few times I've probably had somebody come up random, generally I'm not like overly social. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to fuck off. But, like I've had people come up and be like, hey man, I'm sorry. I don't want to bother you, but where did you get your shirt? I'm like, oh shit. Hold on a second, dude. Like, we got to talk.
Here, let me give you a card.
Right.
Hell yeah.
So now, and then you guys are about to be moving into, you got like a building.
Yeah,
you're going to be moving now.
We found a new space. We've completely outgrown the studio house. So, I mean, we've always kind of tried to keep it in-house as much as possible. And now it's just, it's too ridiculous. Between Get Out and us, it was like almost 40 boxes of t-shirts that I pick it up in my car in shifts. I was picking it up in shifts of like 6 or 7 boxes, bringing it back to the house. We fold the shirts on our dining room table, and then we take those shirts and we take them up to the spare bedroom on the 2nd floor. We are currently in the 3rd floor in my office. The second, it's Philly. All the buildings go up, not out.
Yeah, okay.
So on the 2nd floor, we have all the inventory. It's Erin's office where she ships everything out of. The room is filled with shelves and t-shirts. You can barely move in it when we're trying to work. It's awful. So we found this awesome space, right? It's 15 minutes down the street from us, which rules. Which doesn't matter for you, but it's in North Philly. But we're trying to do local pickup there, so you guys can come check it out, see the operation and everything. It's 2,300 square feet, so it's a nice big. It's a brand new renovated, It was an old like sign company. They did billboards for Philly out of that building, where they would print these massive signs and stuff. They've ripped out, they completely gutted it. They redid the entire interior. So we've got a little space with right next to a loading dock and everything. We just got the van, so we'll be able to do 20 boxes at a time, make everything more efficient. We've got way more room for racks, which means we can finally restock shit and like actually manage inventory, which has been like our biggest problem. We're trying to work out of our house. We can't hold inventory, which is why everything is kind of limited run. So that means stack shirt restocks. And we're talking a lot. We're talking within the first month of being there, we want to restock Carpenter, Friday the 13th, Romero, Cronenberg, and Stephen King stack, all like immediately. And then we're going to funnel part 4 in there, part 3, and just start kind of going wild on those. And I want to maintain a bigger level of inventory of just like stuff like that. So when we do limited drops, because we still are going to do limited drops, we still love doing that kind of stuff where like we just did like Get Out, Twilight Zone, and Tetsuo. They'll be only available over the weekend, but when you grab Tetsuo, you'll finally be able to grab Carpenter stack too, the one that you've been meaning to grab for the last 2 years. So things like that, we want to start maintaining more of an inventory of. I can't wait for that. I want to start doing screen printed posters. I bought a big, massive semi-auto flatbed screen printing press off of my buddy Dan down at Sage Screen Printing in Baltimore. If you need screen printing in Baltimore, go to Sage. He's sick.
Okay.
Gotta plug my dude.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
He's the man. So I'm going to be doing big posters. So we're talking probably like 24 by 36, hopefully. We're actually starting to pick up a lot of licenses right now. And so all of our stuff is going to start being licensed merchandise, which is really, really big for us. I've already got some awesome plans going on that for the first like few drops that I can't talk about yet, but
sure.
I trust me, you're going to get hit hard in the first few months when we do some really cool licensed stuff.
Man, that's so sick. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be so cool. To be honest, it's wild to be doing this kind of stuff, to be handling this amount of volume. It's humbling. It's really humbling because I never thought it would ever get to be something like this. I really thought I would be stuck in a 9-to-5 and doing StudioHouse on the side just for the shits and giggles, you know. And it's turned into so much more than that, which I still am baffled. Like, I don't know how it happened, but it did. I mean, I just love it and I work hard. And that's what it is, you know, and anybody can do it if you just work hard and dedicate that time to yourself. Stop giving it to your fucking boss.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah. I just love, you know, kind of going back to the whole overcome and like, you know, having a story like yours and booming. You know, I'm glad that I got you on the show because I'm going to tell you, anybody watching, this motherfucker's about to be too busy for a little old cat like myself. So,
I'm never too busy for you. No, right, man, I always got time for you, man. Always.
Beautiful, beautiful. So next, we're going to dig into, we got the old horror cult. Tell me where this started and what all goes into these subscription boxes that you have.
Sure.
And where you know where it all started, I guess.
Okay, so Horror Cult is the best subscription box on the internet right now, right? I think TM. So what it consists of is we have a limited exclusive t-shirt that's designed by me every month, or every other month, I'm sorry. You get a VHS tape, you get some popcorn, you can pop that tape in, eat some popcorn, enjoy that shit. You get some cool stickers, and then we always do some sort of like mystery items that have been really cool through the past. We just got done doing an Alien box where we did little first aid kits with the Nostromos logo on it and everything. I should have brought one in. They're really sick, yeah. But I mean, it looks something right out of a spaceship. They're so cool. We've done Jaws beach balls and stuff like that. We always like to do some sort of mystery item. We started off doing them actually very randomized. They were just kind of, everything was kind of thrown together just to get it going because we wanted it to be more based around VHS. That's kind of the root of StudioHouse is these guys right here. But it's kind of evolved past that, and while still including it very much so. It's my roots. I will never get away from that. And hell yeah, Society VHS slipcover. I love doing those too. The slipcovers that I hand screen print on foil paper, the last have been on foil, which is awesome. It's cool to see people collecting those. I started doing those just kind of for fun because I was like, yo, I've never seen it done before.
Hell yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, you know? And I mean, if you think of something that you've never seen before, fucking make it. Because that's what I started doing with StudioHouse t-shirts, and look where I am now. But I mean, I can't say nobody has ever screen printed a VHS slipcover. I think I may actually own one from like the 80s or something. Okay. That I found and was like, I think this is, I'm still not sure. But you don't see it. I wanted to start doing something cool that would incorporate my love of screen printed posters from like Mondo and like Gray Matter and stuff, but then incorporate that into this. And I didn't know how to do that. So I was just like, yo, I know my boys in like retro release video, like, yo, they make slip covers. how I can do that too. So I was like, let me see if I can try this. And I did it with Deathgasm. Jason Lee Howden actually reached out and was like, this is the coolest shit. And I
Oh
was like,
shit! No
yeah,
kidding! Wow.
yeah. And he asked me for a bunch of them. So I like made them up all real good for him. And I like threw extra stickers on the tapes and was like, here you go, man. I gave him one of each edition because I did some metallic inks. I did just white ink and all on black paper. That was like the first and ultimate experience, was printing white ink on black paper, not black ink on white paper, which is the way it should be done. So I was kind of flip-flopping things around, testing stuff. Then I got up to the Frankenhooker slip, which that was like 4 colors on foil, which was just absolutely absurd. Like I was just like, I guess fuck it, let's try it. I mean, what's it gonna do? Like kill my mental health for like a week? It'll be fine. And I did it, and it came out sick.
Amazing.
Yeah, it sucks. Right now, Horror Cult is completely on hold. We're waiting to get back to it. Once we get into the space, we're going to come back to Horror Cult.
Okay.
We're already collecting VHS tapes for it. That was the biggest problem, was like, we can't get out to collect these tapes anymore. And like we go flea market thrifting and shit like that every weekend. And with the lockdown and everything, we can't get tapes at all. And I don't want to just resort to buying tapes off eBay and shit. That's no fun. You know, it pulls the thrill out of it for us. It'll pull the thrill out of the experience of you guys getting it, and I don't want to do that.
Beautiful.
You know, yeah.
What are some of your, you know, because for a long time horror was based on the covers. It was based on that artwork. You know, when you walk in the video store. You know, off the top of your head, what are some of the ones that have stood out to you even nowadays that still just, you know, remain some of your favorites?
Are you talking about like current art, or are you talking about art from the past?
The past, like from the video stores and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So I always was the like the, I guess, like noir look of the Lost Boys. That poster with just that bright red background, and how just like in your face that is. I've always loved that. The Videodrome art. All art for Videodrome is just stunningly gorgeous.
Sick.
Like I said, the original media release of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's one of my favorites. Obviously, Dead Alive. One of my favorite tapes of all time is absolutely Hellraiser, the original New World release of that, with the blue spine. It's up there with the red, with the yellow square and the red text, and it's like, these are the most bright and fun colors for the fucking most menacing, weird BDSM movie I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's like the color choices. But I mean, that's what inspires StudioHouse too, is these insane colors. And I mean, we did the Hellraiser stack then, and we did it in yellow, red, and blue, which was like super wild for that. You'd think you would just go like, I don't even know, like white and red, like every other horror movie.
Black, gray, red, white.
Exactly. Also the Torso one sheet is one of my favorites, which is just a big like hacksaw, and the hacksaw is the woman, and it's just that bright yellow background. Like anything that has just a pop of bright color, and it's just in your face like that. I love. Like Rosemary's Baby again. That's one of my favorite posters there too.
Now there was one as well. I don't know if you remember this or if you ever saw it, you know, back in those days. But I remember at Blockbuster there was always this one cover, and it wasn't even until years later that I watched it. A movie called Breeders. Did you ever see that?
I've never seen it. I know the movie. I know the VHS. I've seen the spine of it and everything. That's me. I'm very picky about spine fonts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every time I walk by that, we had like a Blockbuster over here, and the cover art on the monster where it was all textured. So I would walk by and I'd look at it and I'm like, oh man, this looks so cool. For whatever reason, I never watched it, but that was always one thing that stuck out to me. You know, it wasn't bright colors or anything, but it was, you know, kind of like the whole monster was like, you could like feel it. It's like, oh, like shit.
That copy of the Dead Pit. And it's got like a full texture and like with the light up eyes and everything.
Yes.
And then the talking Frankenhooker box Yeah, dude. Oh, those are
I don't know if I
absolutely.
ever saw that.
Oh man, yeah, it's like it's a little bit thicker than like a normal VHS slipcover, but there's like a little spot that says I talk or whatever, and you press it and it says want a date really loud, like,
Oh
and like
shit!
they just made that shit for the little kids when they would go
Yeah.
into the video stores and be like, that box talks, like it's like the toy in cereal, you know what I mean?
Right,
It's
right.
just like, yo,
Oh
that's sick,
god.
it's interactive.
I mean, it's kind of like you mentioned with the Hellraiser spine and it being all these
Hmm.
bright colors. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like some
yeah.
little kid grabs it, like, yeah, I want to watch this. Like,
Yeah,
no, you're not.
this
Put that
looks like
back.
Barney
Yeah,
or
right,
like this looks
right.
like my Ren and Stimpy tape. Like, let me get this.
Oh
It's not Ren
man,
and Stimpy, kids. Guess what?
so good, so good. All right, okay, so
Oh yeah,
we
man.
have we've got the finale here, and you know this has to be the hardest and yet most simple finale that I've come up with yet. I racked my brains on lots of different things, and lots
All
of times
right,
I tried to do a custom thing for each guest, and you know I had
all
different things,
right,
but hopefully this is the one. I'm hoping that we're gonna do it big here. So
all right.
my
Let's do
my
it.
idea. I asked you about your favorite movies. All right, I asked you your three
Yeah.
favorite movies.
Yep.
So in those, you gave me Hellraiser, you gave me
Absolutely.
Dead Alive,
Yep.
and you gave me The Evil Dead.
Hell yeah.
So within those, what I tried to do is I tried to come up with my own stack. All right, my own
Okay.
VHS or die, and it's going
Okay.
to
Cool.
spell out SHD. All right, so I came up
Okay.
with three movies that
All right.
are going to spell out SHD, and they're all based on the movies that you gave me that that are your favorites, and to see what your
Okay.
thoughts are
Okay.
on these movies.
Okay. Cool. Let's do it.
So first off, all right, so like I said, you'd mentioned Hellraiser. So for
Right.
S,
Right.
I pulled out this bad boy, and I wanted to see if you'd ever seen it. So you know, some thoughts, what you have on this one. We got a movie called Superstition.
Ooh, I have never seen this. Is this a
Ooh-wee.
new one?
This is from, let's see, I want to say 81,
Oh,
81 or
okay.
82.
Okay.
So earlier 80s, basically, it's kind of like where I got the inspiration for that one for you is along with Hellraiser and just the overwhelming, you know, kind of evil that's looming throughout the
Oh
movie.
yeah.
That's the same way with this. There's some pretty gnarly kills. You know,
Ooh.
at one point, there's a head in a microwave that just comes popping out, a saw
Like
blade
Microwave
that comes.
Massacre.
Yeah, right. But you know, as far as you know, that was kind of my inspiration was having you know the evil of Hellraiser looming.
I'm into it.
I checked out Superstition and recommend that one for you
That's
for
cool.
the letter S.
Oh, all right.
All right. So now for the second one, so you had mentioned Dead Alive. All right.
Oh yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah.
and the first thing that I thought of with Dead Alive was just, you know, the kind of silly, almost slapsticky,
Yes.
you know, but yet really sticky, gross gore effects, you know, and just
Oh
the
yeah. Oh
nastiness
yeah.
to it. So I pulled out the old Roger Corman Presents Humanoids from the Deep.
Oh wow. Okay. So
Uh-huh.
Humanoids from the Deep. That is a deep cut for me. I saw that movie. The first time I ever saw that movie was I was really really young. I remember grabbing it off the shelf at the video store. Because of covers. I wish I could show you that original VHS cover because it's so wild.
It might be this here, the reverse art on this, the monster cover.
Yeah. That looks like a poster maybe.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think the distribution company that put that out. But yeah, that was a really good one. I barely remember that. I haven't even thought about that.
Okay.
I
There's at one point there's a lady at the end of the movie that she's pregnant with one of these monsters and it
Okay,
pops
okay.
out and it's just silly and gory and gross and
Awesome.
there's different other you know really silly kind of gross out moments in it as well.
That's
that,
good,
you know,
yeah.
was reminiscent from
I need
the old Dead Alive.
I need gore and I need comedy, and
Yeah.
that's a good movie. It's
Hell
basically
yeah.
it, right?
Oh yeah, I love it. All right. So now for the last one, and speaking of gory and comedy, you know, we were talking the
Oh
Evil
yes,
Dead. You
yes.
mentioned that
It's
bad boy.
you told me just tell me movie titles and that's it.
That's
And I
it.
really wanted to say The Evil Dead is like that was the one of the first movies I remember ever even buying on DVD and watching by myself. Um, but I love that, but I love Evil Dead 2 just as much. And like it's
Agreed.
really hard to separate one from the other. I really, if I could say The Evil Dead, I would just say fucking both. Give me both, in a
Right.
double feature or something.
Right, right. And I'm very much, I think, like you in interest too, to where I do love Evil Dead. Yeah, that's always, going to have a place in my horror heart. But Evil Dead 2, the laughing deer is one of my horror tattoos that I have here.
That's awesome.
That movie is just, it was one of the first that I can remember, truly loving and being infatuated with and wanting to just go back and get more and more from, all the angles of just of Ash throwing himself all around and, the gross, gore effects and such.
It's funny because my girlfriend and I, we just watched The Evil Dead a few nights ago, and I just it's a feel-good movie for me. So whenever I'm like feeling a little shitty or under the weather, I just throw on Evil Dead, and like that kind of brings me back a little bit. And like we were watching it, and it was the first time I bought the Steelbook, and I'm just getting into buying Blu-rays and collecting Blu-rays and stuff. I never thought that they would be cool because it's like modern technology, and I'm for this shit.
Sure.
But I fell in love with them, and I was just like, oh no, this is like another collection that I don't fucking need. So our house is just filled with like tapes, records, cassettes, anything. And I was like, now here we go. Now I need another shelf for all my Blu-rays. So I got the Steel-Ray, we popped that in, and I was like, these effects are so fucking insane in this like level of clarity now with Blu-ray. And like it makes you kind of see through like to kind of how they're done a little bit more. But let me tell you what, Evil Dead holds up. Those effects are so still like gut-wrenching, sickening. And I'm just like, yo, that's so gross.
Right. And then seeing it with all the clarity as well, or like watching like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know if you've seen that in like Blu-ray or UHD.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's just as scary.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Like I just want to watch Grandpa beat the girl over the head with the hammer, just like and like dropping the hammer and stuff. Like that scene in itself is like so wild, and then you see it in Blu-ray, and you're just like, wow, now I feel uncomfortable in clear definition.
All over
like,
again.
Yeah,
right.
It's
right.
Great.
All right, so with the Evil Dead, the first thing that came to mind, with me was isolation. As far as the first movie, it kind of it brought into the whole isolation and a single spot, some people being hunted by something, having to fend off. So it actually brought up my first Steelbook ever, which is a DVD. It's not a Blu-ray. It's a movie called Dog Soldiers.
Oh, I've not heard of this.
So basically, I think it's from Scotland. So this team of soldiers goes out to this hut of some sort, let's just say, going to check on this other team. Come to find out that the team is absolutely torn apart, ripped to shreds, and they're like, what the fuck's going on? Sure. Well, then soon after, it's like these like superhuman werewolf type things that are like coming and full stance. They're not like running on all fours. They're almost like soldier type things.
I'm good. That's wild.
Right.
I don't want to encounter any like werewolf humanoids. I'm good, man.
Right. So it's definitely, if you've never seen it before, it is worth the watch. There's some really sweet, not so much transformations, with like a lot of werewolf movies that you see, but it's an isolation movie. It's a movie where, you're watching to see
Cabin in the Woods kind of deal.
Oh, dude, Cabin in the Woods. It's such a special place in my heart. That movie is so awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So awesome. Too. Beautiful. Well, man, that was those were my suggestions. You got the old Dog Soldiers, Humanoids from the Deep, and when we got 1981 Superstition. Boom.
I think I'm going to watch Humanoids from the Deep tonight.
Hell
Humanoids, that's definitely getting popped right in. I haven't even thought about that movie in a while, so that's been
a minute. Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, look, this has been absolutely a treat for me. I appreciate your time so much. If you have any last words, if you have just want to let everybody know what you got going on currently, this is your time, man.
Oh man, don't give me free time. Right now we're working on some really cool stuff. I got Hellbound Hellraiser 2 shirt coming out. That's going to be released in two different variants, and we're hoping to throw down some metallic gold on that one again. I think that should be really cool. And like I said, we are restocking like everything. I know a lot of people have been DMing me, emailing us, letting us know like we want stacks, and like, yo, we hear you, and they're coming. It right now with us moving into the space, our shelves are already filled right now. So we're going to be restocking like pretty much every stack shirt that we can fit on a shelf. We do have leftovers of a lot of the previous runs. So we have some like Twilight Zone, Get Out, Us, Candyman, a bunch of shit, Tetsuo's, that they're all getting backstocked for, I don't know, probably another 2-3 months. Black Friday probably, and we're just going to drop a bunch of product. So if you're looking for a design that we definitely just released within the past few months, probably like January and sooner, those all will be restocked, including all of the stack shirts. So it's all coming, I promise you. And then on top of that, we got all this new wild shit that we're coming up with yet too. So keep your eyes peeled from now until December. Shit's going to get wild, and it's going to be really cool.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, I like I said, I truly appreciate your time.
Man.
I appreciate everything that you guys are doing.
Appreciate you having me. Yeah, man. Thank you for the platform. Mine, yeah, we love talking.
Hell yeah. Well, cool. This is our time. It's been absolutely amazing. I'm probably going to have you on again, so be checking your DMs, because we're going to talk more, my man. We're going to dig into some more shit. I was going to say, I'm sure we're going to talk like we do anyway. Hell yeah. All right, buddy. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Cody. StudioHouse Designs, the Lo-Fi Horror Guy. You guys take care. Stay safe. Bye, buddy. See you, bud.
He's a lo-fi horror guy. Yeah, he's kind of a guy, but he is so lo-fi a horror guy. Yeah.